What's up, guys? It's John Dominique, the Soul Proponent. Today, I'm going to speak about an introduction to the story of the soul. I'm thinking about making this kind of like a series because it's a lot of information at once, so I kind of need to break it up. But today is just about an introduction to the story. And I want to start off by saying that, yeah, it's kind of painful to watch people who are suffering or, they're looking miserable because they don't have God. If you don't have God, you don't have anything. I was there once and it's not fun. So, I want to start off by saying how important this is to me, how important the soul is for everyone. And without an understanding, we just continue to suffer and the world just continues to get worse. We can learn to appreciate the misery and the suffering when we realize that it's part of the process of awakening to the soul, because it's a process of elimination and deductive reasoning. It's like saying, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it. So, we get to the point where we tried everything and nothing works, and we're at wit's end. And that's kind of part of the process. We have to eliminate what we know doesn't work, because part of the process is deductive. It's process of elimination. We find out what the soul is by finding out what it is not. That's part of it. So the suffering, we don't have to judge ourselves for it. We don't have to come into it with a punitive attitude, making things worse and making ourselves feel guilty and ashamed for the suffering. That's part of the process. We have to understand it, and not add any additional misery with the unnecessary misery if we don't have to. So we have to release our judgments about the suffering and just understand it's part of the process. The environment we do this work in matters a lot. We have to have a non-judgmental environment, a holding environment, a loving environment, so to know that we won't be attacked, because the superego will come in and attack us if we feel too much suffering and pain, and that can reinforce the situation and make things worse. But I'm digressing a little bit. What I really want to talk about today is like the purity, because the story of the soul basically is born pure of a virgin, miraculous, buried and rejected, yet lives forever. That story has been twisted through the years. It's been turned into something else for profit, for empire, and it's a matter of popularity. The traditional idea of Christianity right now is just mainly due to popularity, but the story is twisted. The truth that we need to extract from all of it is that the soul is born pure of a virgin, miraculous, buried and rejected, and yet lives forever. So today we're talking about the element of the soul, which is purity, the first element that I want to talk about. When John the Baptist said, clear the way, make a straight path for the Lord, that points to the emptiness that we will feel when we experience the path to God. So the purity is referring to our emptying everything, divesting ourselves of all our holdings, all our longings, our fears, and our desires. That's part of the process. It's scary because it leaves you with an emptiness, a blackness, a void, and it makes things worse a lot of times, but that's part of the process again. So the purity is getting to the point where we don't react to the emptiness. We don't judge it. We don't fear it. We don't avoid it. We embrace it and we accept it as something that's there. That's part of the natural process of awakening to the soul. It's kind of like a desolation, an impoverishment, and a deficiency. It's kind of like, when they stripped Jesus of his robe before they crucified him, that's kind of what that symbolizes. This is our process of awakening to the soul. We're stripped of everything we're trying to hold on to. So the truth will set us free. But if we're holding on to our beliefs, holding on to ideas, holding on to relationships, holding on to images, that's not going to work. So we have to understand, as part of the process is purifying. Making a straight path for the Lord is letting go of everything we're trying to hold on to, and even holding on to the need to hold on. It's like attachment to attachment. It goes really deep on an unconscious psychological level. We have to examine all of those attachments and release them as part of the process. That's part of the purification process, and that's the beginning. We're aware of emptiness, there's nothingness. And the thing about this is we have to learn to stop judging, because judging is the downfall of mankind. We judge that emptiness as something bad, something to be avoided, something to be gotten rid of. And on an unconscious level, we're judging, and that's our downfall, because we don't know when to quit. So when it comes time to do spiritual work, in the practical world, okay, we need judgment, but we don't know when to quit. We carry that over into the spiritual world. We think we know the difference between right and wrong and everything, what's good and bad. When it comes time to do the spiritual work, to let go of everything that we're holding on to, we can't do it, because we're too accustomed. We're too, what's the word I want to use? We're trained. We're conditioned to hold on to our instincts, for instance, instincts for survival. We don't think it's possible to let go of our instincts for survival. But the path of the soul is letting go, and then letting go of letting go. That's part of the purification process. That's the part of the being born pure of a virgin. And we have to know that we need to quit judging, because it's not the first bite of the fruit of judgment it's not the first bite of the forbidden fruit that does the most damage. It's the last one, because we don't know when to quit, as I said earlier. So we have to allow and accept the emptiness as part of the purification process. That's part of the introduction to the story of the soul. You become aware of it by becoming aware of what it's not. And we have to allow and accept the emptiness without trying to do anything about it, without lifting a finger. And that becomes very difficult, because we've been conditioned all our lives. The millions of years of instincts of evolution are based on survival. So if we're trying to survive, that's not the path. If we can't let go of survival, we're not going to make it. So we have to let go of this idea that we have to survive, that we have to fight, that we have to struggle. That needs to be let go of. Very difficult. It's going to be we're going to be left facing our vulnerability, our impotence, our weakness, our powerlessness, and nobody wants to feel that, but that's the path. It's very narrow, like a razor's edge is what they say. But this is the process of purifying ourselves, divesting ourselves of everything, purging even our instincts for survival, our fears, our hopes, our desires. That's part of the introduction to the story of the soul. The purity. The next element will be the miraculousness. Maybe I'll make that into a series on the next video, but for now, this is all I'm going to give, because there's a lot of information at once. But I hope you guys get the idea of what I'm trying to say in my message. John Dominique, the Soul Proponent. Peace.